Hello friends, happy new week. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad you're here at Heritage Ways YouTube. All right, come with me while I make a recipe for supper. This is called Salsa Chicken, and it's out of our local newspaper. And I think I've mentioned to you before, in our community newspaper, county newspaper, the store, Piggly Wiggly, we call it the Pig down here in the South, it sponsors a recipe section. And I love looking through the recipes in a newspaper, I always have. That's why I also like that we have a recipe section in the Journal newspaper. That's the newspaper that's written by and for homemakers in the Heritage Ways community. And so if you want to know more about that, if you feel nostalgic and you want to hold newsprint in your hands and look through all the goodies every other month that we send out, then I'll leave a link down below in the description box. But I am making today this salsa chicken recipe. I needed something simple but good. This is going to be low carb too, if you're interested in that. And so we're going to jump right in and make salsa chicken for supper tonight. Our recipe calls for 4 chicken breasts, and I have actually flattened these so that they will cook more evenly. They were unusually large, and so I wanted to flatten those. If you've never done so or want to know how, then follow the iCard that's at the top of this video. All right, it calls for a cup of salsa and it calls for 4 teaspoons of taco mix. The salsa is just a paste salsa. We do like to make our own, but I don't have any homemade made up right now. I do have a recipe here on YouTube, and you can learn how I make and can my salsa. And then this is my taco mix. Now you might go to heritageways.com and see if I have any for sale, and see if we're in stock right now. So I'm not going to tell you we are when I don't know, but this is my homemade taco mix, and I sell this at events. I also make and serve for samples a creamy taco dip at events, and honestly, people rave about it. They love it, and they just have to grab a bag of my taco seasoning after they've tasted my dip. Now, about my dip, my mix rather, this does not have any preservatives, any fillers, and you might, if you were to get some, you might see it's caked a little bit. That's because I don't use anti-caking agents. I don't use any of that. I use real food, fresh local spices and seasonings, pure and clean, and you actually find that you need less than you would those expensive, horrible packets that have all kinds of foreign things in them. So I'm using my taco mix seasoning. If you have From Katie's Kitchen cookbook, you're going to find that recipe in that cookbook. All right, go ahead and heat the oven to 375. It says to lightly grease the pan. Actually, I find that things usually don't stick in this pan, or this dish rather. It says to sprinkle the seasoning mix on both sides. Now, I've got plenty of seasoning here. It's 4 teaspoons. And I'm going to go straight to my dish, and I'll season the other side that way. I tell you what, we've got marble top counters now, and we've never had those, and it's something for us to get used to the strength of them, because one of us, and it was an accident, set a glass down too hard and broke the bottom. And I knew that was going to happen because we're just not used to being really light-handed with our countertops. And so we set something hard down on marble, it's going to break. Interesting. We knew at the Ohio house that we wanted and needed new countertops and a new dishwasher, and then the Lord provided both when we moved into this house. Okay, so I'm just going to to keep my hands clean, I'm just kind of mashing that in with the fork, and then it just says to pour the 1 cup of salsa over the top. Bake for 25 to 35 minutes until the juices run clear. Or if you want to take the temp of the chicken. If you want to check the temp, you need to look for 165. This is my favorite and only thermometer that I use for this. Oh, it's past that, so we're good. We're at 178. So we are good on that. Now we are going to sprinkle with a cup of cheddar cheese that I have actually shredded so it will melt better. The stuff you buy in the store is great. It's convenient. I've bought it. I do buy it. But it does have an anti-caking cellulose on it that actually hinders melting. So if you have time and the ability, I encourage you to shred your own cheddar. Back in the oven until this is melted, about 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. That smells good. Here we go. Smells so good. The recipe calls for serving this up. So here's your one piece, second piece, third and fourth. So you can put that on a plate. The recipe calls for putting a dollop of sour cream on it if you want that. Be sure to let us know in the comments how you would use this recipe. Would you just serve it up on a plate? I can think of about 12 ways to use this recipe, and I'm going to drop those suggestions over on where you can find the recipe at heritageways.com. So follow the link down in the description box of this video, or head over to heritageways.com, and there's a recipe index. This is called Salsa Chicken. I hope you're counting your blessings, and I'll sure see you next time.